Hi parents. Today in math, we finished up this page we were working on yesterday in class, identifying the time. They also wrote the time out. Mine just aren't written on. And in today's lesson, they were learning to identify time to the nearest 5 minutes. So we started by, again, highlighting the hour hand, the shorter hand on the clock. And once we highlighted all the hour hands, we put in the hour on every single problem, because before we can write these, we have to identify the time. After we did that, we went and counted the minutes. So we started at the minute hand and we counted how many minutes. Now, if, like for example, in this one, the students have been learning that 3 is 15, 6 is 30, and 9 is 45. So since this goes past the 6, we can start at 6 if they don't have 9 has 45 memorized yet, and they can go 30, 35, 40, 45. And so then they can add the 45 minutes, or put in, not add, the 45 minutes to the time. Did the same thing here. We counted 5, 10, 15, 20 to the minute hand, put the time in. So basic time, just like you learned when you were a kid. The difference in today's lesson is after we wrote all that down, got our times down, and then we wrote what it meant. 45 minutes after 12, 20 minutes after 2, 40 minutes after 5. Then we went in and said, well, what would the next hour be? What's it going to be after this hour? Well, it would be 6, it would be 3, it'd be 1. So we went in and wrote those in. And then we said, well, now how many minutes does it take to get to that next hour? So if I'm right here, using a different colored pencil they used a different color of some sort, you can skip count how many minutes it would be. So 5, 10, 15, and that gets me to the 12. We're trying to get to the 12, 15 minutes. And then we looked and made sure that these two together made a total of 60 minutes because there's 60 minutes in an hour. Did the same thing here. Started from there, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, up to 40. Wrote it down and made sure that they made 60 minutes. They got pretty good at that one. Got a little more tricky on the next page because they had to go in and, again, identify the hour hand, write down the hour on every single one of the problems, then count the minutes. But this time the minutes aren't to the nearest 5, they're to the nearest minute. So that was the difference on this next page. So they identified it as 6 o'clock and then 27 minutes after 6. So they wrote 27 minutes after 6. And then they had to go back and add in how many minutes until the next hour. So we used a different color again. For example, on this one we just had 25 minutes, but on these ones we had to go, okay, 1 minute to get to the counting by 5's number, and then 5, 10. So 10 and 1 make 11 more minutes. 3 minutes, 1, 2, 3 to get to the next counting by 5's number, and then 5 more minutes make 9 minutes. And again, we double check to make sure these all equaled 60 minutes. And that's what we did today in math. Here is the math homework assignments for today. I also put them in the language arts video. So there's more description on the narrative for language arts in the language arts video from today. And that's what we did today in math.